it's Mariners Fanatic back with a YouTube video, and of course, something crazy had to happen right after I uploaded my last video, and as I had to leave for work. But the Seattle Mariners traded for Jesse Winker and Eugenio Suárez of the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for Justin Dunn, Jake Fraley, Brandon Williamson, and a player to be named later. My initial grades for this trade is I give the Mariners an A minus and the Reds a B minus, and I'll kind of explain those grades as I go along. First, talking about what we got. Jesse Winker, an all-star, insane against righties. And some of the things I was seeing from reporters is that the AL West is very heavy right-handed pitching, which is just insane that Jerry Dipoto has the foresight to look at all that because I didn't even think about it. I don't think anybody thought about it until we saw the news and the analysis from initial reports. But the fact that he went out and got a bat that just eats righties is awesome. We also needed a left-handed power bat in our lineup. Last year, Winker only played 110 games, had a few injuries, but he had 2.7 WAR, 24 home runs, 305 batting average, and a 145 WRC plus. Winker is set to make about $7 million in arbitration this year, so the contract is not bad at all, and he's not a free agent until 2024. The only concerning thing is Jesse Winker does have a 57 WRC plus versus lefties versus his 178 WRC plus versus righties. For those of you who don't know what WRC plus is, it's basically weighted runs created, and it kind of shows a value of a player. 100 is league average, so he is well above league average against righties and well below against lefties. However, he isn't just strictly a platoon bat. And of course, with the aforementioned wealth of right-handed pitching in the AL West, he probably won't be sitting very much either. He might get pinch hit for in the later innings by a right-handed bat if we're really in a pinch late in the game. But for the most part, he's going to be playing pretty much every game. Overall, Jesse Winker has just hit pretty much his whole career with the Reds so far. He's a career of well above average hitter. The main drawback is his defense. He's not real strong out there. He's kind of mixed it up between left and right field. Dipoto said he's probably going to play mostly left field for us, but he might see some time in right field. At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Scott Service is probably going to get the right guys out there on the field. So really, this was more about boosting our offense, which was something we struggled with last year. So it's definitely a big need that needed to move forward heading into this season. Now, talking about Eugenio Suárez, he is 30 and he's a free agent in 2026. He has a club option for 2025 that is $15 million, and he will be making $11 million this season, next season, and in 2024. Now, Suárez has had a couple down years. 2020 was a struggle for him, and then the start of 2021 was really, really bad. However, something that was promising is he had a 220 WRC plus in September and October. He was hitting the cover off the ball, which could be a sign that maybe just something was off in that 2020 season and it translated into the 2021 season. And then he kind of figured it out there towards the end of the year. For me, Suárez is the perfect replacement for Kyle Seager. You're probably going to be getting about the same production. I expect him to hit a lot better than he did last year. I also think he'll be better than Seager, potentially. He's only 30 years old, so he's not getting up there in age just yet. A lot of people are pessimistic about Suárez being able to come back and have a 2019-like performance, but he still hit 31 home runs last year. Yes, he batted 198, but his WRC plus was 85, just a little bit below average. So for me, I'm optimistic. I think Suárez is going to replace Seager's home run output. The defense is average. It's not the best, but that's fine too. Of course, Toro can mix in at third as well. So it's really not the end of the world that he's going to be our starting third baseman. Now, is there a chance we could flip him for somebody else? Possibly, but I don't think anybody else is going to take on that contract. The contract itself is not that bad as long as he returns to form. But if he has the first half of 2020 as what he's putting out, then that's not going to be very good. So like I said, ultimately, this grade is an A minus, and I give it an A minus more for what we gave up. Dunn and Fraley, I'm not concerned about. Both solid players. I think they'll do well in Cincinnati, but I don't think they're going to become superstars or anything like that. We'll see. I may be biting my words in like a year or two, but that's just kind of what I see right now. The biggest concern for me is Brandon Williamson. I was super high on him, talked about him in videos and on my Instagram and all that. Williamson's numbers were just insane. He is such a good player. His K rates are insane. Just his size in general and who he is. I think he has potential to be a 2 or 3 starter, potentially even a number 1 if he really hits his ceiling. So I was disappointed to see Williamson go, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. But that is why I give us an A minus on this, partially because of Suárez's contract and then giving up Williamson. I'm also a little bit concerned about who the player to be named later is. Jerry said it's somebody who's not on our 40-man roster, but it could be one of our better international prospects, potentially Starlin Aguilar, Milcar Perez, or Michael Arroyo, or any one of those 10 to 20th ranked prospects in our system. It's not the end of the world, but there are just certain guys, in my opinion, that I would rather have us keep than deal. I was hoping that the player to be named later would be announced today when I made this video, but now I'm assuming we probably won't hear who that player to be named later is until later, of course. Just briefly talking about the Reds, I give them a B minus because this was clearly a move to shed payroll. The Reds, they were almost a playoff team last year. Similar to the A's weren't like as close as we were, but they were still an 80 plus win team, just like the Reds. And they're both just tearing it down because of payroll. Now, you might look at Suarez's contract and be like, oh, that's not great, but it really wasn't that bad. The worst contract is Moustakas, and even Joey Votto's contract is not amazing. But I don't think they'll trade Joey Votto, as that's their guy. Moustakas is somebody they really need to get rid of somehow. If not, he's probably their starting third baseman. But I won't spend too much time on that. The only thing I will say is why this is a B minus and not lower for me is because Williamson is really good and they did shed a lot of payroll. But also, if you kind of look at where the Reds are going, their top prospects, Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo, are both going to be in AAA. Brandon Williamson will probably be AA or AAA as well. All 3 of those guys, top 100 prospect talents, pitchers, could be in their rotation by the end of next year or starting the year in 2023. So the Reds pitching is in a great spot. Obviously, the issue is they just traded 2 of their best hitters. So we'll see how they recover from that on the offensive end. It's looking like this might be a bit of a short rebuild year. We'll see where they go with it. But that's why I give them a B minus. Some people have them as quite a bit lower on a grade for this trade. So that's all I've got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and the breakdown of the analysis. Go ahead and put in the comments anything else you have that you thought of or you thought I missed. But look forward to talking with you guys in the comments about this trade. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Mariners Fanatic. Out.